Hi, I'm Ashley, and welcome to this masterclass, The Purpose to Your Pain. I'm so happy that you're here. A little about me. My name is Ashley Hutt. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, licensed RTT practitioner, and coach. That's rapid transformational therapy. It's a type of hypnotherapy. I'm a self-retired professional engineer, which means I changed career paths midlife, and I love it. I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer. I spent 2.5 years living and serving in the Dominican Republic. I'm twice divorced. I lost my mom at the age of 32. I suffered from migraines for 20 years. I'm a full-time single mom to a beautiful little girl who's right over there, whom I birthed unmedicated naturally. All of that to say that I know a little bit about pain. I've experienced quite a bit of pain in my life, both physical pain with migraines and the natural birth, and of course, all the other stuff, and quite my fair share of emotional pain, the loss of my mom, the things that led to me changing my career path, and being divorced 2 times. So I know a bit about pain. We're going to dig into more of that. Okay. But first, I am obligated to say that I am not a medical doctor. The information in this presentation does not constitute medical advice and should not be taken in place of consulting a physician. This information does not and should not replace medical treatment from a medical professional. If you need medical advice or assistance, you should consult a physician. Thank you. On with the show. So, pain, whether it's physical or emotional, is a message that something needs your attention. There, that's simple. Y'all can go now. Just kidding. So, pain comments from the peanut gallery over there. Pain, physical or emotional, is a message that something needs your attention. Let's talk about that a little bit more. And I'm going to use a story, an illustration, parable, not a parable, a frame of reference of a minor physical injury. Okay. So you're walking barefoot in your backyard. And even though your dad has told you your whole life, don't walk outside barefoot, you've heard of the health benefits and the wellness benefits of putting your bare feet on the earth. So you're like, I'm going to give this a try. So you're walking outside, barefoot on the ground in the sunshine. And you feel a pain in your foot, a sharp pain, a pretty intense pain, like you've stepped on something. What do? You feel the pain. Pain is here. Pain is here. What's the pain telling you in that moment? The pain's telling you something's going on down here in your foot. That pain is communicating to your brain, be like, hey, something's going down here. You need to take a look. The pain is communicating that something needs your attention. So your response to the pain, what you do next, is influenced by your mental health and your learned nervous system responses that you've learned throughout your life. And many other things, like if you've eaten, if you got enough sleep, if you just had a fight with someone, lots of stuff like that. But we're going to walk through 3 specific responses here. With our girls here, we got Bridget, Jen, and Steph. All right, Bridget, this is her response. So she pauses for a second when she feels the pain, but then her learned response kicks in. She tells herself, shake it off, walk it off. Not that bad. It doesn't hurt that much. I don't have time for this anyway. Shouldn't even be out here in the yard. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna make a scene. No one cares about your splinter. I'm tough. Got this. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It'll go away. And she's right. She keeps walking, ignoring the pain, and it does go away. Or at least it dulls. It becomes familiar. She gets used to it. She's just used to the pain. The splinter is just a part of her foot now. It still does hurt sometimes when she steps on it just the wrong way. But whatever it is, it's really in there deep now, and she sure as hell isn't going in after it now. So now she's just Bridget. Bridget who walks with a limp. It's just who she is. She's written it on her name tag, put it on her shirt. She's accepted it. And over time, because she's compensating and walking a little funny, she also starts to experience back pain and tightness in her muscles and other skeletal muscular issues. And years later now, it's starting to affect some of her circulatory function as well. Next, we have Jen. Jen feels the pain. She immediately stops, but she won't dare look at it. The pain stops her in her tracks, but she won't look at it. Ah, that really hurts. Feels like it's blood. Grosses me out. It's so gross. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't know what's wrong, but I am not going down there, and I'm not going to find out. What if it's awful? Sure, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll go away. It'll be fine. I don't have time for this. I'm fine. It's fine. But she can't say stopped for long because she's got responsibilities. She's got adulting to do. Other people need her. And the pain doesn't go away. There's a wound. And it just gets worse. It's dirty. Infection has set in. Every step she takes is now excruciating. And she can't walk anymore. She's now suffering. Her body has now forced her to give her attention to this issue. She goes to the ER. She might lose her foot now. God, I'm so stupid. Why do I do these things to myself? Why me? Man, I just can't catch a break. Can't believe this. She has surgery on her foot. It's going to be okay. She feels better, but now she can't walk for 2 weeks. She can't walk. She can't work. She can't be there for the people that need her. And the medical bills. What's she going to do about those? Ugh, stupid foot. How am I going to get through this? Goddamn hippies and their walk with your bare feet on the ground. It'll make you feel better. Bullshit. F them. What do they know? No one was there for me. No one's here for me now. And our third girl here, Steph. Steph feels the pain. She pauses immediately. And there's some blood. She shines a light on it to really see what's going on. She washes it really well. She examines it. A small cut and splinter. She asks for some help to remove the splinter. She stops the bleeding. She puts some healing goo on it. She covers it up, protects it so it can heal. So here we have our three girls. We got Bridget. She ignored the pain. She stuffed it down. Now, years later, she doesn't even remember that day, but the list of her other physical ailments is growing. And with each new one, her mental health worsens. This is just life. This is what it's like getting older. Your body just starts to break down. It's just how it is. She's suffering as she ages. All because she denied the pain. She ignored that message that something needed her attention. And then we got Jen here in the middle. Jen also ignored the pain. She refused to give herself the attention that was needed. She forsake herself for the needs of others. She also stuck it down. Grew. And it grew until her body said no. Until her body said no more. Then and only then did she stop and give the attention needed. Her body may have healed, but it has increased the emotional scars of self-loathing and self-sacrifice and learned helplessness, which is blaming everybody else. She's miserable. And then we have Steph. She felt the pain, respected the message, obeyed, did what needed to be done. She took 15 minutes in the dark and got back out into the sunshine. Feeling good, feeling grateful, feeling powerful, feeling confident. Loving herself, full of gratitude for her willingness to listen to the messages of her body and to respond in the most beneficial manner. Now, there are many more ways other than these three examples that we respond to pain. And there's many other learned responses to pain. But these are three pretty good examples. So with all of these three ladies, what we've learned here is that the pain was necessary. The pain was necessary. The pain was a message that something needed your attention. The suffering that our first two girls led themselves into was not necessary. Suffering is a choice. It's usually an unconscious choice. We don't know that we're making it. And a lot of times we feel like we didn't have a choice. I had some place to be. The kids needed me. I was going to do it, but the phone rang. I need this job because I got to pay the bills. I'm not going to confront my husband because then he'll get all angry and I don't want to deal with that right now. Sometimes it is conscious, but that pain that you're feeling, that nudge is trying to wake you up to something that needs your attention. So that example that we'll get back to later, but that example was a mild physical injury. And it was easy to see how, like, well, of course she should have stopped and, cleaned it up and put some goo on it and washed it and put a Band-Aid on it. It's not that hard. Sure. And many minor physical injuries happen all the time that people ignore and don't do what their body needs them to. And this is also true for emotional. Those emotional pains that we feel, that happen, that come, and we can either respond or let it slide, brush it under the rug. I don't have time. Who's got time for that? I don't want to deal with that today. Things like anxiety, fear, frustration, panic, disappointment, stress, worry, dread. One of my favorite clients, Bethany, I'll talk about her a little bit later, but she had a good job. She's a nurse. And yet she knew she wasn't living the life that she was meant to live. She wasn't living the life that was in her heart. So every Sunday, she spent the entire day with this horrible feeling in the pit of her stomach, this feeling of dread, this anxiety about having to go back to work on Monday and spend the next 5 days of her life doing something that didn't bring her any joy. that she knew wasn't for her. So she really only got to enjoy Saturdays. One day out of an entire week. That's 52 days a year. A little bit more add in holidays, sure. But that's not a life. So that dread, we were able to work through that with her. And I'll talk about her a little bit more later. Resentment, fatigue, meanness, being mean. That's a piece of my story. Before one of my divorces, when in my marriage, I was so overwhelmed with all of the things. I was just mean. It wasn't me. It was the weight of everything. It was a symptom of things that were not right. Anger, rage, violence, hurting people. And then there's things like just feeling numb, stuck, trapped, lonely, uneasy, just, like you're not at home in your own body. You're not comfortable in your own skin. You don't even know who this person is in the mirror. You don't recognize her. You're not at home in your own house. I feel like you're just constantly running away, constantly just trying to find your own space. I've been there too. Depression, sadness, feeling down, feeling invisible. Like, hey, I'm here. I'm here. I'm a person too. I'm a people too. Love me. I've been there. Feeling invisible, feeling unheard, feeling used, taken advantage of, feeling misunderstood, rejected, tears, stopping the tears. I'm not going to cry today. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. No, 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 not today. Those difficult conversations that you know you want to have, that you need to have, that you just can't and don't, won't. Challenging people in your life, controlling tendencies, micromanaging other people, your family, your kids, your employees, jealousy, envy, do you feel towards your friends, your family, your strangers on social media? FOMO, the fear of missing out. I wanted to be invited. Why didn't they invite me? I would have gone. That would have been so much fun. I would have had so much fun. That must be nice. Going on vacation again? Wow. Good for them. That must be nice. I wish I could do that. I could never do that. Who does she think she is? How dare he say that? Those judgments. Those judgments of others. Those knee jerk. There's a those knee jerk reactions, not new jerk. Knee jerk reactions. The snapping, the nagging, all of these things, and so much more. All of these dark, heavy, negative emotions, they're all messengers that something needs our attention, that something's not right in our relationship, in our home, in our family, with our kids, with our job, with our friends, in ourselves, our life. So there's an emotional and a physical link. My example, of course, was a minor physical injury, and I just talked about some heavy emotional pain. And of course, emotions influence our body. You know what I mean? Like when you feel a confrontation coming on, or you get really scared about something, your heart rate increases, and it's like, or before you go into a crucial conversation with your husband or your boss or something like that, your stress hormones flow. You get the sensation of heat. It's like, and all of a sudden you're like, God, I'm sweating, right? That energy and rage. And then the depletion of energy, like after something has happened, after an argument, after an extreme bout of sadness or frustration or a really bad day or whatever that consisted of, you just feel tired, depleted, like you just can't do anything else. Your emotions affect your body, they influence your body. And it goes the other way too. You know this too. Like when you're physically ill, you feel fatigued, depleted, and unwell. If you've got the flu or a cold or a disease, a chronic illness, chronic pain, you there's a limit to how you show up in the world. Your patience is probably pretty thin. Your temper is quick. Joy and happiness seem to escape you. You don't show up as your true self, your inside self. You don't show up for your friends and your family the way that you would if you felt amazing physically, if you had all the energy in the world and all the pain was gone. So the emotional physical link is very important here. So when we look back at that long list of heavy emotions, the anger, the resentment, the sadness, all of those things are all forms of stress. They're all forms of stress. And stress is an emotional physical response to the space between the reality of the present moment and what you think, believe, and feel that the reality of the present moment should be. So you're angry at your husband because he's a dickhead. He shouldn't be a dickhead. He wasn't one. He was a nice guy. He used to love me. Right now, he's not nice to me, and he should be. So that middle part is anger, resentment, all kinds of stuff. The form of stress on your body. You just don't have any energy. You're really heavy right now. God, I've never weighed this much. I've never been so out of shape. Disgusting. Where you are right now is overweight or as heavy as you've ever been. Where you want to be is what you used to be like, or something, a number on the scale that you've never actually experienced. What you are right now and what you think you should be are not a match, and that space in the middle is a place for stress to be, for hatred of yourself, self-loathing, telling yourself you're disgusting, sadness, depression, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving of whatever it is that you feel that you want in your life. Your job. God, this job sucks. I'm 50 years old. I shouldn't have to be putting up with this stuff anymore. Wherever you are and wherever you think it should be are not a match. And in there lies that list of emotions. Same with your kids. God, these kids are driving me nuts. These aren't my kids. My kids were going to be angels. They were going to be perfect. They were born perfect. I don't know what the hell happened. Right? So that's stress. We don't get to choose what stress does to our body. We don't get to choose the way that it manifests itself physically. But we do get to choose how we respond to stress. Stress is going to happen. And there's a saying, I couldn't find a person to attribute this quote to, but that if you do not make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. If you do not make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. Looking back at our girls here, we have Bridget. She didn't take the time, and now she's numb. She's half dead. She doesn't feel anything. Yeah, this is just how it is. It's life. Whatever. It's fine. What's this life supposed to be about anyway? And we have Jen. She didn't take the time either. She is now a victim. She feels lots of stuff. She's not numb. She feels it all. She's angry. She rages. And she's sad. She's very depressed. She cries a lot. She's anxious about what's going on, and she blames everybody else. She blames her husband. She blames her kids. She blames her parents. She blames her job. She blames God. She blames traffic. She blames. And she has stuff. We have stuff here. She did take the time. She took the time. She did what was needed. And now she feels connected and empowered. Which of these resonate with you? Which of these have you been in the past? Are any of these kind of your default way of dealing with pain, with a message? I think I've been a little bit of all three at times, and others, of course. I think maybe we all are. Nowadays, I'm much more in Steph's line. Every now and then, the others creep in, and when they do, I'm now aware enough to be like, "Uh-oh, I'm doing that thing again. Let me go take a minute and see what's going on here. See what's really going on here." Because that long list of heavy emotions, those are symptoms. They're not the cause. Those are symptoms, not the underlying cause. So in my work, I've worked with these two. I've worked with Jen and Bridget, and by the time we're done working together, we've moved on into stuff range. And then you have kind of a toolkit of things that work for you to be able to stop when those flags pop up and do what is necessary. The Bridgets of the world are difficult to reach because you can't help anyone unless they want to help themselves. Not even Jesus can help you if you don't want to be helped. And Bridget is numb. She's asleep. So many people are. They're just numb to it. They don't feel it. And if they don't feel it, then they certainly don't think that there's anything that they can do about it. But every now and then they start to wake up, and then they're like, whoa, I got to do something with this. Gens are more easy to work with because they reach a breaking point where they're just tired of their own bullshit. And they're tired of depending on other people. They're tired of living their life for other people pleasing, forsaking themselves. They get to a point where they're just tired of it. And then they know that there's got to be a different way. And they're ready to take action. So we started with a minor physical injury, physical pain, and then we talked about a lot of heavy emotional stuff. And I want to propose that these methods of responding to pain can also be true for some illnesses. I am not a medical doctor, and this information does not constitute medical advice. So when we look at things like headaches or migraines, I had migraines for 20 years. We'll talk about that. Stomach aches, indigestion, IBS, heartburn, type 2 diabetes, eczema, other skin issues, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, the autoimmune list, restless leg syndrome, allergies, and chronic fatigue syndrome, and so much more. Yes, there are sometimes physical abnormalities or physiological differences that lead to or exacerbate illness. Yes, there sometimes can be legit hereditary traits and tendencies that can lead to or exacerbate disease and illness. Yes, absolutely, there are sometimes genetic mutations that can cause disease and illness. And many of these conditions and so many more remain misunderstood. The treatment of many of these conditions, they treat the symptoms and not the root cause of the disease and illness. Many times the doctors don't even look for the root cause of the disease or illness. When you ask, Doc, how did this happen? What caused this? Oh, I don't know. It would be pretty hard to determine, but I'm going to write you some medicine and you should feel better. It should take care of those symptoms. You'll be taking this medicine for the rest of it. Many of these illnesses, the root cause is unclear. They've done studies, lots of them, and they still don't quite know why. I know migraines is one of those. And many of the treatments that they give you for the symptoms, many of those treatments, they work for a while. You feel all right. And you're like, yeah, this is good. And then they stop working. And you up the dosage and it works again, and then it doesn't. And then they change medicines and it works for a while, and then it doesn't. And then they change medicines again, and then you get all these side effects, and rinse and repeat. Anyone here experienced anything like that or know someone who has? My sweet mama, my mom, she was sick most of my life. She got sick around, I was about 9 years old. And she had unexplained high blood pressure. Unexplained high blood pressure. And that led to so many things over the years. She was sick for 25 years before her heart finally gave out. And even 4 months before her death, she would go to the heart doctor, her cardiologist, and her cardiologist would say, I don't know what's wrong. I think it's your lungs. You better go see the pulmonologist. And she'd go to the pulmonologist, and he would say, oh, your lungs are fine. It's got to be your heart. And she would ping pong between the two, as if our heart and our lungs don't work seamlessly together, and they influence one another. And just a couple of months before we lost her for reals, we almost lost her, and we were in the hospital, and they did an x-ray of her chest, and they did one every day to check the function of her heart. And her heart was the size of a football. Through the 25 years of battling all of the things that she had, the unexplained high blood pressure, the fibromyalgia, the heart disease, the restless leg syndrome, the chronic fatigue syndrome, the chronic heart failure, her heart had grown from this to the size of a football. And her doctors were still ping-ponging her between each other. So, maybe that's you or someone you know. And maybe there's just some other approaches. I believe there are many other approaches, and I am just one of those in my offers. So, whether or not it comes first or second, there is always an emotional component to disease, to illness, and to physical pain. So, whether or not you're feeling all those heavy emotional feelings and that can cause a disease or an illness, or whether you get a disease or illness and it then causes all these emotional things, there is always that link. Things like anxiety, fear, frustration. Why me? What did I do wrong? I've been healthy my whole life. Blame my parents. This runs in my family. Dread, resentment, fatigue, being mean, being angry, feeling alone, numbing out, feeling trapped, feeling depressed, not feeling understood, feeling unheard, feeling invisible, rejected, jealous. That must be nice. She can take her kid for a walk in the park. I can't do that. Bless you, baby. That must be nice. See where I'm getting here, guys? That link is always there, no matter what comes first. The link is there. So, what can you do? What can we do? What can we do? If all of that physical pain and all of the emotional pain is a message that something needs our attention, what can we do? So we've got Bridget here. She soldiered on. She resigned. It's just how it is. She accepted it. I don't remember the name of the second girl, Jen. She blames. She can blame. She can carry the anger about the situation. Or you can empower yourself with information and understanding. And wield your power to choose how you respond to that pain, to that message with courage. Now, this isn't a blaming game. This isn't judgment. This isn't shaming. This isn't anything. These are learned nervous system responses. These are learned emotional responses to emotional and physical pain that we've learned throughout our childhood, in our family, in our school systems, through society, through movies, etc. We learn what we see. We learn what we live. So there's no blaming or shaming here. It just is what it is. And if we can't recognize where it is that we are in any given time, being able to do something about that, it's really hard or impossible. So again, with Bridget, this first girl, we can, if she's willing, start talking about stuff, open it up, investigating, asking, shining that light to uncover some stuff. Because what she has is she still has that wound underneath it there. And it just has scar tissue upon scar tissue upon scar tissue that is affecting her body, that's affecting every part of her. Now, in my story, that's a splinter, but it could be your boyfriend breaking up with you when you were 11 years old, or your mom rejecting you when you were 3, or some other sort of small t trauma or big T trauma, or just your family and the way that it was. You know, I thought I had a pretty normal childhood, a good childhood. There was nothing bad. I always thought it was normal. And then when I started going on the healing journey, things were revealed to me and dots were connected that I was like, oh, okay, okay. And again, it's not blaming, shaming, um, or anything like that. It's just a recognition of what might have happened and being able to understand and take steps forward. I'll talk a little bit more. I'm going to share a little bit more of my story in a bit. Jen, same thing. She can blame, she can carry her anger, she can get tired of doing that, and she can start to let go of that stuff. So, which would you choose? Which do you choose? Which have you chosen? Which one are you choosing today? What are you going to try to do more of moving forward from here now that you're aware of this type of information, that you're aware of this type of approach? So I want to share a little bit about my freedom from migraine story because it is a perfect and personal and real illustration of the links of the emotional and the physical pain and how they influence each other like this and how they can be healed. So all I knew about my migraines was that I had a lot of headaches when I was little. When I was a teenager, they started to become migraines. Throughout my adult life, they just grew and grew and grew in intensity and in frequency and in duration. I would get them more. They would last longer and they would hurt more. And that was it. That was my cross to bear. I would get them about every month. Sometimes they correlated to my menstruation, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it was when I was dehydrated, sometimes it was when I wasn't. Sometimes I knew that I shouldn't have eaten that refined sugar, refined flour, blah blah blah, whatever. And I knew that that's what caused it. And other times, not. You know, they would just happen. And over the years, I stopped going to the doctor about it. I don't really have a reason for that. Maybe it was, some subconscious messages from my mom and seeing what happened with her with doctors throughout her whole life. And it didn't really help. I had a medicine that I would take, a pill that I would take when I would get them, and it would make me feel okay for a little. It would take the pain away. I'm not going to say it would make me feel okay because the medicine brought on its own type of side effects that, wow. But I could get through it. And I did notice, though, that in maybe the last 5 years that I had them, I could take the medicine, it would take away the pain for a little bit, and it would come back. I would have to take the medicine again, it would take away the pain for a little bit, and then it would come back. And I would go through that until about the third or fourth day, and they would just start to go away. And it had nothing to do with the medicine. It had nothing to do with anything. That's just the time that they were taking, 3 to 4 days. So in May of 2020, I decided to study rapid transformational therapy under the amazing Marissa Peer, who developed this as her own method through her 30 years as a therapist. And I decided to do that because I really wanted to learn how to do self-hypnosis recordings or guided meditation recordings, because those are how I dug myself out of the pain post-divorce. Listening to a guided meditation every night when I went to sleep is how I cleaned out all the hurt and pain, or at least it's part of my story. It's how I helped get my brain right, how to get my mind right after the divorce, and how to regain my feet on solid ground. It's also how I prepared for the birth of my child. I participated in a program called Hypno Babies, which was a series of self-hypnosis recordings that I listened to when I went to sleep. And it instilled and prepared me for an unmedicated natural childbirth. So I know this stuff works, and I really wanted to learn how to do it. And RTT is so much more than that, and I didn't even know. So as I'm on this learning journey with Marissa, in her videos, she starts to mention things like migraines and some of the other things on that list, and some other illnesses and diseases and conditions, physical conditions. And she's mentioning them as if RTT can alleviate those conditions. And I'm like, can I get rid of these things? Is it possible that I could be free from them? Because it was my worst fear as a single mom, getting a migraine and being in bed, like barely able to take care of myself, much less take care of a small child. Was my worst fear. And I lived through that fear quite a number of times before I reached my freedom. So I continue through the course. We get to the end of the course where we're practicing on each other. And I am all in on this migraine. A lot of people were like, oh, I want some more confidence, which yes, we could all use some more confidence. But a lot of people stayed surface level. One session that I did was literally about not eating white rice. She didn't want to eat. She didn't want. Anyway, so I was like, migraines. Let's get rid of these migraines. So I did 3 RTT sessions on the migraines, and I was able to uncover, my subconscious mind revealed to me the root cause of the migraines. Like I said, I started getting headaches when I was about 9 years old. I also mentioned that my mom started getting sick when I was about 9 years old. Other pieces of my story is that my sister is 8 years older than me. And my parents struggled with infertility for 7 or so years before they finally got pregnant with me. So there was a lot of stress in the family that became part of my life too. When I was born, my sister was 8 years old, a happy single child, and she wasn't really interested in sharing the attention with a baby. And then she was a teenager, and I was a little bratty kid. And there was that, and that was part of my story. My dad, an excellent provider and a very good man, he worked a lot. He worked a lot to provide for us. He worked a lot so that we could have a beautiful house, have food to eat. He put me and my sister through college. Endlessly grateful for that. He worked a lot. And even when he wasn't working his job, he's a mechanic. So he would buy wrecked cars, fix them up, and sell them. So even when he was home, he was out in the garage. He wasn't there. And again, this isn't about blaming or shaming or throwing fault at someone. It's just what it was. My mom was sick, increasingly sick, and she would have months where she felt good, and she would have months where she felt worse, and it ebbed and it flowed, and I was alone a lot. And again, looking back, before I started all this work, I would have been like, yeah, my childhood was normal, it was good, it was fine. Parents were together, had a sister, had some friends, went to school, did ballet, stuff, went to college, all normal. But I developed the headaches as a form of getting attention because I was alone a lot. And my sister was really involved in activities, so we were always running her around all over the place. My dad wasn't there, like I said, and my mom was often sick. So when I had a headache, I would get attention. Oh, honey, here's some medicine. Oh, we should take you to the doctor. Well, how are you feeling today, honey? Things like that, like we do when a child is sick. And when I was a teenager, the headaches morphed into migraines. And then throughout the rest of my adult life, they got worse and worse. And they came to fill other roles, functions, intentions, and purposes in my life. And my relationships and marriages molded to those types of things as well. My jobs. One of the roles that it played in my life, my adult life, was my voice. It was a full stop. Ashley's taking care of Ashley. Ashley's in immense pain. I'm going to go lay down. I'm not going to be able to do whatever it is that you want me to do. I'm going to go take care of myself. No. You can go on and go. I don't care. I'm going to go take care of myself. It was a full stop. This is Ashley time. And I don't think there was anything else in my life that I did that about. It was always like rushing to please the people around me. Another function that it played in my adult life was forcing me to rest, which I think a lot of women can identify with. In my last marriage, it wasn't just me, him, and the kid, our child, my beautiful daughter, me and the kid, but 3 of his kids as well. So I was managing a household of 6 and running my own business and working. I was doing all the things, way more than I can even explain right now. And it forced me to rest. So this and many other things was uncovered in the RTT sessions. And then using the recordings as reinforcements to fill in my mind with more beneficial suggestions, more beneficial, supportive love, and with the personal development tools that I know and my coaching tools that I already knew and that were growing and still continue to grow, I dug myself out of that. For example, the rest. I can now choose to give myself rest without needing to feel excruciating pain. Now, if I feel tired, I stop. I go sit down, take a break. Once you know, you are empowered to choose the most beneficial option for you. So again, I share that story because it's a perfect example of physical and emotional pain. A little girl who just felt alone and wanted attention from her family, and her body creating a headache to get that attention. That role continued too in my marriages, let me tell you. So, thank you for listening to that story. Let me know if that resonates with you. Maybe it's not migraines. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you always have stomach problems. Maybe you can barely eat anything without your stomach getting upset or having diarrhea all the time, or it's heartburn or something else. Something that you've been to the doctor about and they've ran their tests and they don't find anything wrong. But you're still feeling what you're feeling. Let's figure that out. Because you've got a lot of life to live. So, to start to recap, the purpose to your pain, whether it's physical or emotional, is that something requires your attention. It is a communication from your body, from your mind, from your spirit that something's not right. That something's not right in your body, something's not right in your life, that you've strayed away from the beauty and the joy that's meant for you, that something's not right in your relationships, something's not right in your lifestyle. And by right, I mean aligned. I mean what's meant for you, what your heart wants. The desires that have been laid on you that you don't know why. You don't need to know why. You just want that. That's what you feel drawn to. It's what's meant for you. Aligned with your mind, your body, your heart, your spirit, and your soul. That pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain, is a red flag waving, saying stop, slow down, pause, give yourself attention, shine a light on it, examine, question, seek to understand what's going on here. Open yourself up to the answers, open yourself up to connection, to guidance. Empower yourself with the ability to choose. Cry. Physical release of all of that pent up energy that's stuck in your body that you've stuffed down and not today and I don't have time for this. Cry it all out. Feel all the feels. Know yourself. Learn your tendencies and the reasons behind them. Be able to connect those dots. And then when that happens, when the flag waves again, then you're like, all right, this is that thing that I do. And instead of it knocking you off track for the next couple of days, you can take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Look at it, love it, release it, and get back to your life. Heal. Because you've got a lot of life left to live. On the other side of all of this work is light and love, and energy and freedom, bravery and courage, confidence, clarity, power, peace. All of these things that are almost cliche, and that's ridiculous because it's not ridiculous. I know what you're thinking. I've been there. You're like, oh yeah, peace, love, and happiness. But once you start to uncover this stuff and you feel it, it gives the words a new meaning for you. And I want that for you. I hope you want that for you. I hope you know that it's possible. So, what are your next steps? I have a few things. If you've loved this, that's amazing. And I'd love to hear from you. So, first, we've got a free and private Facebook community called Wake Up Call, Purpose to Your Pain. And because that's what it's doing, right? To wake you up. where you can walk with courage, confidence, clarity, and faith for a life of freedom, joy, peace, and love. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and it's a community of women. You can come say hi. Rosie can come say hi. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Hold on a second. Let me finish, okay? Thank you. Okay. So I've got Wake Up Call, the free Facebook community. I've also got a three-part mini series, also called Wake Up Call. We go through awakening awareness, discernment, and awakened action. And that's amazing. It's a free, and that's amazing. It's a study on your own time. I have how to give yourself permission, the permission slip to yourself. It's a transformative hypnotherapy workshop. So this is also, it's pre-recorded. You do it on your own time, but it is hands-on, brains-on exercises and activities. So we go through some eyes open, some journaling exercises where we shine a light on your inner mean girl and all the stuff that's blocking you from the life you desire. And then we do a hypnotic inner child healing. And then you get the recording, you get a 21-day self-hypnosis recording to really support all of those changes moving forward. And then, of course, I have the self-hypnosis guided meditation recordings, which was the purpose of all of this stuff, all of the learning of the RTT from back 2 years ago. So those are all on my Inner Sunshine Freedom Etsy store. New ones are added every month. And they are amazing on their own. And that is, aside from the free Facebook group, that is the most economic option to start. And I actually, anytime that anyone comes on to work with me, I have them start with a recording because it is a self-hypnosis recording. And self-hypnosis is a cornerstone of all of the offers, all of the work that I do. So if it doesn't jive with you for whatever reason, because nothing works for everybody, you can find out that way. And then we're not wasting each other's time. And I can point you in a direction of something else that might help. And if you're looking for more hands-on with me, I would be so incredibly honored to work directly with you. And I do have 3 options right now, because now is the time. Now is the time for you. Now is the time to choose you, because who else is going to do it? Choose you, and let's push the reset button, because the rest of your life is the best of your life. I promise. So the reset button is a transformative, holistic hypno one-to-one membership. And we've got 3 options here. The universal option is 4 months long. They're all 4 months long. The universal option has bi-weekly one-to-one calls with me and you, talking every other week. Then we have bi-weekly group calls. So I only work with 5 people in the universal package at a time. So on those bi-weekly group calls, there could be up to 5 of us in there. There's usually not. It might be another one-to-one call if you're the only one there. But it also builds community and helps get perspectives from other people and to hear what someone else is confronting at that time. And it can help open up the doors to more healing. It also includes, hey, babe, can you stop making those noises? Thank you. It also includes 2 deep dive personal RTT sessions, me and you in hypnosis, doing a deep dive into whatever we've identified as the thing that we want to unearth and take a look at. You get WhatsApp access to me. That's video, not videos, voice notes and texts. And you get all vault access to all of the other things, all of my courses, all of my recordings. You get access to all of that stuff and anything that I add in the future. The VIP option is like the universal option, except it's all one-to-one calls. All of your calls are just me and you. So it's high focused, me and you, on you. Let's do this. And then we have the freedom from migraines. You get 1 extra RTT session. So there's 3 total, and all one-to-one calls, because we're really diving deep to clear out migraines or whatever other physical ailment you might want to resolve. So I would love to hear from you. In the downloads for this course, there are links to everything. and ways to contact me, ways to set up a call to see if we're a good fit. And like I said, the universal option, I only work with 5 people at a time, VIP only 2 people at a time, and Freedom for Migraines only 2 people at a time. So it is a very limited space. There is a wait list, but we can get you on the wait list and see when we can start your healing journey, because it's going to be amazing. I want to share a couple of stories from these women that I'm so proud of. Bethany, I mentioned her earlier. So Bethany, like I said, she was an RN. She had a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job filled with dread on Sundays for the thought of going to work for the next week, not living her life the way that she knew that she was meant to. And through working with me, she quit her job about a month ago. She sold a bunch of stuff, moved out of her apartment, and left just this weekend to fly to Nicaragua with her 2 sons for the next 3 months to restart her life in a way that is aligned with her heart, her body, and her spirit. And she says, nothing short of miraculous, the massive mindset shifts and life change that has taken place. Ashley will guide you not only through identifying your limiting beliefs, but reframing them in a way that will leave you feeling completely empowered and inspired. I highly recommend working with Ashley. Bethany's amazing. Loved working with her. And we have Deanna, who is also amazing. And she's Australian, so I'm going to read hers in an Australian accent because I can hear her voice. She had migraines. She was one of my favorite Freedom from Migraines clients. Wow. I've suffered from daily migraines my entire life, even while taking strong preventative daily medication. Ashley gently guided me to the root emotional cause of migraines in my life. It's a freedom that I don't have words for. I love Deanna. Not even joking. Had migraines every single day and was on some heavy medication to prevent them. She still had them. So not only did she live in the fog of the migraine, she lived in the fog of the daily medication. She's free from that now. And that's amazing. I actually have a whole interview of her and I talking about her journey through this that is either will be soon on my YouTube channel or it already is, depending on when you're watching this. But so if you're interested in hearing more about her story and like what exactly we did and just how it transformed her life, it's a really inspiring and amazing story. Or if you know anyone that suffers with migraines or any other illness that they might want to just open their minds or hearts to maybe a different way. And that's it. I'm so thankful that you've joined us along on this masterclass today. I hope that you've taken away a couple of things and that at the very least, maybe it'll help you respond differently or at least pause whenever you feel the next emotional or physical pain, or maybe right now, pause and look at it, ask it, talk to it, and see what is your next best step. And I would be honored to work with you in any capacity. Here's our information here. You can visit our website at innersunshine-freedom.com and find out all information for everything that we talked about in here on that website. You can email me. We're on Instagram and TikTok at Slow Down Sunshine. Facebook, you can find me at Ashley Hutt. And we have YouTube on Inner Sunshine Freedom and Slow Down Sunshine. And there's more stuff that's probably not even on here. But thank you so much. And be well, because you are enough. You are beautiful. And you are loved right now, exactly as you are. Infinite love and gratitude, everybody. Love you.